Welcome to the Valley Girls, the weekly podcast where we explore everything there is to see, do, try, eat, and experience in New York's Hudson Valley by talking to the makers, the doers, the growers, the creators, and all the unique voices of the Hudson Valley. We're telling the Hudson Valley's story one episode at a time. I'm Jenny Leifer, a lifelong Hudson Valley resident. When I'm not co-hosting Valley Girls, you'll find me talking all about health and wellness, finding the best gluten-free eats in the Hudson Valley, and giving back to the community through volunteerism and service.
And I'm Jennifer Santiago, a Hudson Valley native who has spent the past 20 years living in Texas. I'm currently splitting my time between Texas and the Hudson Valley as I'm in the process of moving back, and I'm so excited to explore and rediscover everything I love about the region, including hiking, history, and the local arts scene.
As this episode hits our podcast platforms, we are right on the cusp of Pride Month, which is celebrated every June. In June 1969, a police raid at the Stonewall Inn, a gay and lesbian bar in Greenwich Village, turned violent. The local LGBT community fought back, and Stonewall became shorthand for what was then known as the Gay Liberation Movement. On the one-year anniversary of Stonewall, gay pride parades sprung up in cities coast to coast. That's a quick oversimplification, and we'll post links to some good sites with a more nuanced and detailed history of the events at Stonewall and its legacy. But ever since then, June has become a month-long celebration of pride and the fight for equality for the LGBTQ plus community and allies.
Yeah, and who better to talk to about celebrating than a party professional? Jimmy Prada is a DJ and event producer who cut his teeth in the New York City nightlife scene, working at iconic venues, including the Stonewall Inn. He also collaborated on the creation of the legendary drag event Electro Brunch at Intermezzo, which ran for 9 years. And in one of those silver lining COVID pandemic stories, he moved to the Hudson Valley, where he met David Gregorio, and they joined up their event production experience and their extensive contacts from the entertainment industry to form Out Loud Hudson Valley, which is now bringing us exquisite drag shows, dance parties, comedy productions, concerts, and even monthly networking happy hours for queer professionals. Out Loud Hudson Valley's mission is producing interactive and inclusive events for people looking to get out and have fun in the Hudson Valley. We like to have fun. Jimmy, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Geez, I don't know if there's anything left for me to say. You pretty much covered all of it.
Don't worry, we still have plenty of questions for you, and we are just so thrilled to have you here. So how are you doing
I'm
today?
doing great. It's really nice to be with you, and I'm looking forward to talking more about Pride Month and what we've got going on.
Excellent. So we will start, just ask a little bit about you. So you have been in the Hudson Valley for about 3 years now,
Yeah,
right?
I moved back up here. I grew up in the Hudson Valley originally. I grew up in New Paltz and moved down to the city back in 2009 and moved back up here just after COVID.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay. So after a long and glamorous stint in the city, how has the transition been for you coming
I have
back?
to say it's a lot quieter up here. It's really nice. I can actually sleep through the night now, where I didn't really sleep at night then, but I can actually sleep through the night now, which is nice, and there's no noise, which is even better.
That's funny. A lot of people who are used to city noise then get upstate and they're like, "What are these crickets? That's owls hooting."
It's true.
But
It was a little bit of a shock for me when I first moved back. I'm like, wow, it's like eerily quiet up here.
but the dark is nice.
Yeah.
For sleeping. You don't have the light pollution of the city.
So, funny quick story. When my parents are from Brooklyn, when they first moved up here, actually first they moved to an apartment, and then when they bought their first house, my sister and I were babies, and my mother got up to get a bottle in the middle of the night or something, and she's looking out the kitchen window, and she doesn't know from country, she's total city girl, and she is looking out the kitchen window, and all of a sudden she sees these little lights moving in, through the trees, and she's like, "Oh my God, where did I move? I swear to God, there's UFOs up here." It turns out that they just live like through the woods, is a throughway right behind the house. And she was like, had no idea what was going on because she's used to like the subway behind the apartment or whatever. So yeah, just, little moving to the country story for you. So anyway.
And now your dad has a ongoing fight against the bear that likes to mess with his trash can.
Yeah, right.
That's
Used to be the neighborhood gangs. There.
upstate living for you.
A different
Exactly.
kind of bear than you're used to on the club scene.
That's right.
Uh, so speaking of that, we're coming up on Pride Month.
Yeah.
So June gets all the press, but Out Loud Hudson Valley puts on events all year long.
All year
So
long.
before we talk specifically about what's coming up in June, tell us what you've been doing the past couple of years since you launched the business. What kind of stuff Out Loud Hudson Valley is looking to do long term, and how you're finding the community up here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so it's a little backstory about me. I actually DJ'd the very first New Paltz Pride March and Festival back in 2004. So, being involved in the local community is not new for me. It's been something that I've always been passionate about. Even when I was down in the city, I was, still coming up here for different events, over the course of the years. But what we've been doing ever since I moved back up here was I noticed that there was a niche for the gay community that moved up here after COVID. And I realized that, there was no queer entertainment that was on the same caliber as, what I would get to experience down in New York City. And with all of the New York City gays moving up here during COVID, it was like, we have a prime opportunity to bring up, some really amazing talent and really showcase, other parts of the art of drag.
That's so exciting. Growing up in the Hudson Valley, I never thought we would be having a conversation about the local drag scene.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's just super cool. I mean, that's another thing that's been evolving in the Hudson Valley, like the caliber of entertainment, dining, even drag shows that you don't have to go to the city for anymore.
Right.
So I love that.
We bring New York City to you.
Yeah.
So needed. It's so needed.
Yeah. So what other kind of stuff are you looking to do with Out Loud Hudson Valley? I love that you do the networking happy hours.
Yep.
So, not so much of a party focus, but just building community.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. We started the Out of Office networking series back in March of this year. Since we started, we've done 37 or 38 live events here in the Hudson Valley just over the course of 2 years.
Wow.
And the events that we produce they range from dance parties and club nights to drag performances and larger scale drag productions. And that's, I think, going forward, we're going to start to do more of those drag productions. Our larger production that we work with is called Witch Perfect, and that stars 3 drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race. And we're actually going to be taking that show out on tour later this fall. So Out Loud Hudson Valley will actually be in 33 cities by the end of this year. As
Congratulations.
So
that's exciting.
it is exciting. Yeah, born right here in the Hudson Valley. And,
Yay. That's awesome. Also, so we're 10, 11 episodes into the podcast so far. So we're just starting our media empire. Like, the podcast is our first step. But my background is actually in events, not dance parties and drag shows, like trade shows and conferences. But I would love to, expand Valley Girls Media into live events. So you're going to be our best friend now, and we're going to talk about that as we grow bigger. So I don't know what the events will look like, but I do think that there's an appetite for live events of all kinds.
There really is.
Yeah.
You're going to have to be our live event mentor.
I'm happy to provide support where we can.
This is what you've signed up for.
That's right.
Just letting you know.
You're never getting out.
You're a Valley girl now.
That's it. You are a Valley girl now. That's it. So with that all being said, what is on tap, especially for celebrating Pride this June? Events that Out Loud Hudson Valley is putting on, or just stuff that you're excited about that's happening in the region?
Yeah, so I'm really excited for the big event that we're doing is our Pride Kickoff party, which is happening at Angry Orchard on Friday, May 31st.
Awesome.
And that's it's actually our second year working with Angry Orchard. We did a huge event with them last year that was a lot of fun. We brought up Epiphany Get Paid from Key West, who's a live singing drag queen, and she performed live there. And Angry Orchard loved the event so much, they actually called us back in January, and they were like, "Can we start talking about Pride?" I'm like, "Sure, let's do it." So we're back there on May 31st for our Pride Kickoff party. So that's the one event that I'm really looking forward to. But in addition to what we do, Big Gay Hudson Valley is also doing, they're doing a Pride in the Sky event with the Walkway Over the Hudson. It's on May 17th. So that's an event that I'm also looking forward to being there. So there's no shortage of queer entertainment and queer things happening for the Hudson Valley. And I think it's great to see all of these different organizations working on different events to support the local community.
Absolutely. Have you guys ever done any collaboration, anything like that, or any talks of ever doing anything like
We
that?
have not collaborated yet. We hopefully will down the road. It's, who knows? Remains to be seen.
Yeah. Oh, very
Yeah.
cool.
So, all right. So you came from the Hudson Valley, you went to the city, you came back to the Hudson Valley. So aside from doing all the events that you're putting on through Out Loud Hudson Valley, what do you love? What are some of your favorite places? What are your greatest hits? What's your favorite pizza place up here?
Oh man, pizza place. So oh God, I love pizza so much. It's really like one of the things that I could eat,
It's life. It is life.
day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I can't pick just one good pizza place, but I really love Hudson and Packard over in Poughkeepsie.
Mm.
They have
Yep.
that the deep dish Detroit style pizza.
Detroit
Like
style.
Detroit,
Yeah.
yeah.
And let's see, I also like for like New York City style pizza, I really love a pizza in New Paltz.
We
Oh, we love it.
love that place.
Yeah,
It's
We
so
love it so
good.
much.
really love it.
It's such a vibe. Like it's small and they're just cooking right out there in the middle and you can see all the fresh, beautiful ingredients
Oh yeah,
piled up and the pizzaiolo is just smiling the whole time he's working the dough and you're like, I can taste
awesome.
that love in
And
the
they throw
pizza.
the dough up in the air, and
Yep.
Oh,
it's awesome. I love that.
So good.
yes. If you couldn't tell, pizza is Jen's life.
Yes.
Mine too.
But yeah, it's funny that you mentioned those two places because we had a gluten-free. I have celiac, so I'm gluten-free, and my whole thing is gluten-free food all over Hudson Valley. I will travel anywhere, even beyond Hudson Valley, to find good gluten-free food. And we had Lindsay from I'm Still Hungry though is her Instagram handle. We had her on an episode, and those were two of the places that we were
Oh
talking
really?
about is because they not only have amazing
Yep.
pizza that is not gluten-free, but they
Mhm.
also do incredible gluten-free pizza, including Hudson and Packard does gluten-free Detroit style
Oh
pizza
really? I
too.
did
So
not know that.
pretty funny that you mentioned both of those
Yeah.
places.
She said they don't
Very cool.
always have the dough, so
Right,
you
you
have
have
to
to
call
call ahead.
ahead, but
Call ahead to find out,
Okay.
right?
it's just nice when you can find a place where we can both be equally happy with
Right.
our pizzas and I can have all the gluten and you can have none and it's all still delicious.
Right.
Yeah.
Otherwise I just stare at her and make mean faces.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, what
Mhm.
else do you love, Jimmy?
Yeah, so let's see. So it's a little known fact about me. I actually love football. So in the fall and winter time, my friends and I are always at Mahoney's in Poughkeepsie for football. That's like
Mhm.
our spot. So
Nice.
that's yeah, we love football. So
Who's your team?
oh man, it's so funny. I didn't actually have a team this year. I was always a big Tom Brady fan. I was actually born in New England, so I was always a Patriot.
All right, well, this interview's over. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No, continue. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no, I was always a Patriots fan growing up, and then big Tom Brady fan. And then when he went to the Bucks,
Of course.
I had a vacation home down in Florida, and I would go down there during football season from time to time, and all the bars down there would go crazy when Tom Brady was playing because he was on the Bucks, and so I became a Bucks fan for a little bit. And now that he's retired, I need to find a new team. So I'll
Hmm. I'm
Mm.
I'm seeing
where I
big gay Super Bowl event in your future because
Yes.
there's the football fan stereotype,
Yep.
right? Like it's a masculine sport, but I'm sure that there are plenty of people in the queer community who also are like, I love
Absolutely.
football, I love to watch football. So you could do some good events
I
around that.
love
Funny you
that.
mentioned that because I've always had like a private Super Bowl party every year. So and this year my birthday was actually on the Super Bowl. So it was
Aw.
it was a big party. But yeah, I'm sure we'll probably do a Super Bowl event at some point. It would be a lot of fun.
Nice.
Very cool. All right. Well, so anything else that you want to let us know about? What's the best way for listeners to keep up with you and all the events Out Loud Hudson Valley has coming up?
Absolutely. So you can go to our website, outloudhudsonvalley.com. That has our full calendar of events on there. There's also a community calendar for people to upload their own events. So if you have events and things happening, definitely feel free to post them up on outloudhudsonvalley.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of the apps, all of the social media handles. It's all at Out Loud Hudson Valley.
Great. And we'll, of course, post links to all of that. We always put everything either in our show notes or a link from our show notes to our website. And we have a blog and episode page where we link to everything. So if our listeners did not catch all of that, make sure to check our show notes and our website for all of that. And yeah, so just one last personal question. So now that I know your history, your past was in a DJ and event producer, other than the, out loud, do you do any of your own DJing still? Do
I
you do
do.
any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
You
Oh
do.
yeah, I DJ. I DJ at a lot of our events. It's always been a passion of mine. I've been DJing for 23 years, which really makes me feel old, but it's always been like a side passion of mine.
We're older, don't worry.
Yeah,
All
for
good.
sure.
Yeah, so I've been DJing for a long time. Actually, tomorrow night I'm DJing the New York City LGBT Bar Association Gala down
Oh, nice.
in Tribeca. So yeah, I still take on events from time to time, but I'm not really big in like the club bar scene anymore. But once in a while, I'll dust off the vinyls and let them rip.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's nice that you still get to dabble in that too, though.
It is.
That's
Yeah,
great.
it's a lot.
Blow some minds at some upstate bar mitzvahs with the DJ Jimmy Prada.
Yeah, I don't know that
do
he's.
bar mitzvahs. No.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't think he's quite into that type of DJing.
Not my scene.
Totally not the same thing. Totally not the same thing. But all of a sudden, I had like a little image of like Adam Sandler, like wedding singer at the bar mitzvah, and like there's like Jimmy on the, on the turntable at this like,
Been there, done that.
That's hilarious. Too funny.
Well, thank you so much for coming to talk to us
Thank you.
letting us know all the cool stuff that's going on. Keep in touch. If you've got special events coming up, you can always come pop back on and let us know what's on
Absolutely.
the calendar anytime.
Awesome. We'd love to.
Seriously, it is a little bit like the Valley Girls Mafia. Like once we get our claws in you, you're in for life.
I'm looking forward to coming back.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. You were so much fun. And maybe when we do take the show on the road, we might just show up with our
We'll be
equipment
your travel
at one of the shows. And perfect. I love it. Jimmy, thank you so much.
you.
Have a great one. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you to all our listeners. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to help support the Valley Girls, please follow our podcast from our show page on whichever platform you listen from. Leave a rating and review, and please spread the word and share our podcast with others. We really appreciate your support. To stay up to date with the Valley Girls and for more content, you can find us at valleygirlspodcast.com, and you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Links to all our social media accounts are in the show notes. And you can also connect to them through our homepage at valleygirlspodcast.com. Thank you so much for listening. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
The music for this episode is by Robert Burke Warren, entitled Painting a Vast Blue Sky, and can be found on his album Redheaded Friend, available on iTunes and Spotify, and at the link in the show notes.